We've been focusing a lot on the A plus B equals C equation and how to replace the C coping skill that is less than preferable with a desirable one. If you haven't been following this video series, I've linked the earlier videos in the show notes, and just for ease, I'll quickly review the equation for us here. A in the equation is the actionable experience that we experience in our life. B is the behavioral electrochemical response that happens in our mind and our body. Think of that as the cortisol or adrenaline shot, the tension, the reactivity that shows up. And C is the coping skill that we immediately gravitate towards because it's easy. So food or alcohol or pot, sex, overworking, whatever it might be, the thing that's going to give our brain that dopamine dump. And we've been focusing on replacing the C, well, it's backwards, replacing the C with a different, more desirable behavior, whether that be taking a walk, moving into a state of grounded calm, even engaging CPR for the amygdala, and giving our little amygdala a break. So I'd like to shift our focus now to A, the activating event, and exploring more deeply why some activating events impact us more than others. Because we are pattern-based creatures, and as we've been discussing, 90% of this present moment is defined by our past. That's huge, and that's really, really important. Because what that means is that the information processing sequences in our brain are based on patterns from historical experiences. And in a moment of stress, reactivity, emotional dysregulation, in a moment where our amygdala, our fierce little protector, warrior mom back here, is hanging out and playing a role in how we're experiencing the world, our past is going to be very, very present in the current moment. 1986, 1993, 2009, our brain doesn't understand if we've had past experiences that feel like the one we're witnessing right now. It does not know that we're no longer stuck in those past years. And instead, our brain and our body will cultivate and create the electrochemical and behavioral response of the past in this present moment. This is critical to understand in terms of cultivating your own internal sense of self-awareness as well as self-compassion. You see, our amygdala has memory centers, and those memory centers guide who we are in our day-to-day life. And if our brain is holding on to past experiences of stress and trauma, then in that A plus B equals C equation, that activating event is going to be framed in those earlier experiences. So we're going to now start shifting our focus and start tuning into why we respond to the A, the activating experience, in the way that we do, and how we can start taking actionable steps to change our sense of self-awareness, our mindfulness, and our present engagement with this moment right here, right now. So before we get started, I'd just like you to take a couple moments, do a self-assessment, and notice those experiences, just like you've been doing with this equation, where you've engaged in a less than preferable coping skill, but now we're shifting our focus to the A experience. What happened in the moment before you went to the coping skill? And what was happening in your mind and your body? How were you showing up physiologically, emotionally? Are there any common data points in your physiology? I've mentioned before that when I feel upset, I get a crackling in my chest. That's the warning flare of my amygdala that something's happening that I don't like. So notice, what is the flag in that A experience? And then secondary to that, take a moment and just do some reflection on, are there any consistent behavioral patterns that show up in those A moments? In the next video, I'm going to start unpacking something called cyclical maladaptive patterns. Oof, that's a mouthful, I know, but we all have them, and they're all based in our past. And when we understand them, we can really start creating proactive change. I'll see you soon.